Hello. This video is brought to you by my supporters over on Patreon and my members on YouTube. Minasan, arigatou gozaimasu. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily good life meditation exercise in video. Something that I do each and every morning, a little bit after waking up. It's now 4:53 a.m. on the 27th day of January 2024, day 323 in my retirement countdown, day 65 for my wife. I do this exercise to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone, which you can find a copy of from the link down in the description. I recommend the hardbound edition. I use the time also to think about the last 24 hours, how I did with the challenges and opportunities that I met, particularly the ones that took me by surprise, the ambush challenges, I call them. I think about the coming day that I've already planned for. I've got it all laid out. And then I prepare myself for death. But before I do any of that, I like to read a poem. So let's turn back to Walt Whitman today. A poem with a really intriguing title. I had looked ahead at some of the titles to come, and this one caught my eye. On the Beach at Night Alone. I love that title. Ooh, just a second here. On the beach at night alone. On the beach at night alone, as the old mother sways her to and fro, singing her husky song. As I watch the bright stars shining, I think a thought of the clef of the universes and of the future. A vast similitude interlocks all spheres grown, ungrown, small, large, suns, moons, planets, all distances of place, however wide, all distances of time, all inanimate forms, all souls, all living bodies, though they be ever so different or in different worlds, all gaseous, watery, vegetable, mineral processes, the fishes, the brutes, all nations, colors, barbarisms, civilizations, languages, all identities that have existed or may exist on this globe or any globe, all lives and deaths, all of the past, present, future. This vast similitude spans them and always has spanned and shall forever span them and compactly hold and enclose them. Good God. What a encompassing vision in a poem. On the beach at night alone. How will I not be able to think or attempt to think similar thoughts when I find myself alone on the beach, like I do every day? Yesterday I spent a good hour, 2 hours on the beach yesterday alone, not at night, but with good thoughts. Not like that though. Wow, the vast similitude indeed. Thank you, Mr. Whitman. I did like that. All right. As for yesterday and today, yesterday that is, here's the checklist for yesterday. Let me straighten this up. Okay. Well, the work side, I had 4 items on the work side. Now, it wasn't a day of work, so I didn't do any of them, but I did do this one, so I lied. I did complete. That was an important item of scope. I was waiting for a team member on the project to finish something. He was working yesterday, and I was looking for his email, and when he sent that out, I was able to complete that item. I have 3 items. These items will promote to tomorrow, Sunday, and then on to Monday, and I'll take them on in earnest then. On the personal side, I had 12 items on the list. I completed 1, 2, 3, 4. I completed 8 of them. 4 items get promoted to today. Well, if they have a scratch through them, like this one here, I did prepare my taxes. I did put all the tax documents together, printed them all up, found them, and they're ready to go. I just haven't shipped them out and mailed them out yet. I'll try to do that today. And the book, I did work on the book. And then the money organization. Money is an interesting one. That simply means when I have money on the list, and it's not on the list every day, That means take a close look at all of your the money situation. Open up I have a spreadsheet for all the accounts. Open up the spreadsheet, have a look at all the bank accounts, then open up the apps for the things, take a look at all the bank account, make sure money's flowing, there's sufficient funds to fund all of this stuff. And what I was doing this week, which I found really interesting, which I should do more often, but I don't, but I will, is tightening things up, looking for ways to shift things around. So I decided, for example, that I have one bank account that I don't need with a separate bank. I had set that bank account up specifically to be the receptacle for all YouTube earnings. It's a funny thing. So what I had done was I have a normal bank. I have one bank that I do everything with. Lots. It's got like 7 different accounts in there that fund different things. Money comes in from our income and then gets sorted through automatic transactions every week. And into separate accounts to fund things. I know that's not the most efficient way to do things because I get charged for each of those accounts, but it made sense, like, right? Because I have there's an account for Emily, and I gave her an ATM card, and so she gets money comes into our life, and then it gets funneled. She gets an allowance basically, and her money goes into that, and that's funded her all these years that she's been in high school and college. Is basically her allowance. And it became her living stipend in her university years, which I'll be able to stop soon because she'll be off an unemployed young woman of her own. That's going to be a huge, huge boost to us. But then I'll soon be unemployed. So anyway, there's that. Anyway, enough about that. So I make sure all that works, make sure all the tune that to make sure it's just right, make sure nothing's getting low. But I have this other account at a separate bank. And I did that deliberately because I wanted it to be an account that I couldn't see in the main dashboard. I didn't want to know it was there. And all of my internet earnings, Google AdSense, Patreon, what's that other thing? Oh, Amazon. All of those things get funneled into that account. And I didn't want to see it. What I wanted was for that account to just grow and be there in reserve. I don't think I'm going to do that anymore because 2 reasons. One, we're going to need that money. As Yumiko and I go and transition to living in a fixed income, living on my pension basically, we're going to need all the help we can get, literally. I mean, it's going to be, it's a good pension, but it's, we're used to, how do I say, living better than that? We're not going to live better than that, although we'd like to live better than that. So I already did this week. I shifted all those online income sources to one of those accounts on in the main place. So it's a receptacle in the main bank that all online streams can come into. That way I can keep track of it. That's the money. That's the pool that's the account that grows by virtue of our online, or you could almost say our 1099 income, right? I did the same thing when I was a driving instructor. All my 1099s incomes went into that one as well. Because that's how it used to be before I broke it off to this other bank. I had a special account over here, and that account remained there. So the other thing we do is that Emily has her account, and then Yumiko and I also have our own account, so our allowances go into that. It's a complicated process, but it works. It's worked for decades. I've had that bank's account set up like that for like 25 years, and it's worked very effectively. So I've moved that back. So I'm going to kill. I want to make sure I shifted all of the online income stuff to that one account. I'm going to let it go for a month or two to watch to make sure all the payments go into the right account. And then I'll go and I'll drain that one account, close it. And then what I'll do is a new hobby that I have, which is incredibly fun. It's like gambling, but always winning. Yumiko and Emily, well, more Yumiko. Emily's going to be on her own, right? Like I said, she'll move to Japan. She'll start her job in July. I'll keep giving her sending some money her way for a little bit, and then I'll stop that because she'll be a young woman of means, of self-support, and I'll cut that off. And then what I'll do is, hold on, Where did that thought go? Come back. Oh, the thing that I'm doing is that I have this other, yet another account. Okay, it's complicated. We also have bank accounts in Japan. We have two bank accounts in Japan. One was our personal bank account that we had, and the other was the business bank account that we had before my business failed. So we've still got both of those accounts. I don't know if they'll work because we haven't used them for a decade. We have all the paperwork. We don't know what will happen if we try to use them. So one of the first things Yumiko will do when she lands on the ground is to check if those accounts are still active. Probably what she's going to do is open accounts with the Japan Post. We have a reason for doing that. I've done some research to figure out that that's the best one if you want to be doing international transfers, because my pension will come into our bank here, and then I need to transfer it to the bank in Japan. Now, if I can, I want to find a way to have the pension deposited in our bank in Japan. I've heard that that can be done. I'm researching that. If I can't do that, then I'll have it deposited here and then transferred over as needed. So I've set up that system already. I'm using a system. I did a lot of research, and I'm using a system called a bank, basically called Wise, and it's got a great app. I call it the green card because the app is all green and the card is green, and it works. We sent that first time Emily went over on her own back to look for a job. I had all this set up, and I gave her the green ATM card. I said, "Here, take this to Japan. Use it all over the place. Go buy stuff with it. Go withdraw money from ATMs, from 7-Eleven, go to the post office and do that." She didn't do that, so I wish she had. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to see the impact. I wanted to see how it worked, and I wanted to check how the fees were. Namely, I was looking for an ATM in Japan where she could withdraw the money without interest, and I didn't find one. I think the Japan Post might be the one. I'm hoping so. We'll see. Not interest. Fee, right? Bank fee for withdrawing money. We might not be able to get around that. So you see what I'm trying to do. Set up a system so my pension comes in, and then and then I can transfer the money using Wise, which has almost next to nothing transfer fees. It's the best way to get, it's a fantastic way to get almost parity. If the yen exchange rate is 150, the fee to change it is like pennies to transfer it over. It's really good. It's a really good way. And then you've got it in the Wise app. It's bank. You can carry your money in multiple accounts. So I'm already now, before Emily and Yumiko go over, this is the point I was trying to make. I'm preparing the way for Yumiko. As money is coming into our life, I'm taking little bits of it, and I've been regularly, almost daily, shuffling money into yen, because the yen exchange rate right now is quite favorable. And I'm packing the bank account with yen for Yumiko's arrival. So when she gets on the ground, she'll have the green card and a nice big bank account full of yen that she can use to live off of, and then she'll get a weekly. I'll set up the weekly transfer. Bam, bam, bam. It'll just go in, and you can even set up in the Wise app. So you can set it. I want the transfer at a certain yen rate, so it waits and looks for that yen rate and hits that. I don't want to do it until the yen goes to 152, and then transfer $1,000 over. Boom, and then it becomes $1,000. It becomes, what is that? 150 mon-en or something like that, or 15 mon-en, not 150. I wish. You see the whole thing. That's what this money one is about. Because I'm actively working on this every day. The other part of it is that and there's also the tax thing, and the tax is the two-parter. The tax I'm working on, literally getting ready for to pay our 2023 taxes, which I've been paying my estimated taxes all this last tax year. So it should all be paid up, but I've got to get the paperwork together and get that off to the tax accountant, and so she can do our taxes. So that's what all that is. This is how I run our life, basically. Excuse me, it's a lot of work. Boy, I really went off on a tangent there, didn't I, about how our finance life. I might make a little video about that. Hold on. Because I'm trying to add it to the move to the Return to Japan playlist. Money vid 15. Okay. Oh, and I'm on the wrong one. Just a second, I'm sorry. All right, let's get on with it. As for that was yesterday. As for challenges and opportunities, I was kicking butt yesterday. I had such a productive day, man, and that's all I need to say. Some days I wake up and I'm just like, "Day, you haven't got a chance." And yesterday was one of those days. So no more needs to be said about that. Let's carry on to the Good Life Creed, shall we? Okay, I'm going to go over the 8 objectives and 35 principles. I'll just list them out, but I'm going to pull one out and talk about it in a little detail. In this case, it's going to be the principle called the best seat in the house. All right. Let's just find it. It's in the book. I mean, I know what it is, but sometimes it helps to kick it off by just reading the darn thing. There it is. So I'm wrong. It's not. I guess so. Okay. It's a short principle. The best seat in the house. It's here in my book, Going Alone, in the chapter titled The Good Life. And there it is right there. It's a short principle. The best seat in the house. A quote. I have learned, in whatever state I am, therewith to be content. St. Paul. This place and time where I am now will suffice. I will have peace where and who I am at this time, and doing whatever engages my necessity and motive in the pursuit of virtue. Meanwhile, I will also strive towards better ends for myself and others, not as a replacement of my current circumstance and work, but rather as a natural improvement upon these. That's it. I'm really pleased with that. I like the way that reads. It reads more like a poem than attestation of a creed. So what that simply means is I want to be content with who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing, and not necessarily be pining or desiring for any other circumstance other than the one I'm at, even if it's a bad situation. It's a tricky thing to do. It's a very stoic thing to do. To be all right with the way things are. All the while striving for better. That's the tricky part. I want to improve my life, yet be all right with where I am, who I am, and what I'm doing. I don't know how to say it anymore. I don't know how to elaborate on it any more than that, other than that is what it is. So I'll leave it at that. Hardly seems bears worth saying, huh? Okay, let's count out the 8 objectives. These are the things I'm striving to do in life. Striving towards. 1, to be always ready to die. 2, to make good and effective use of time. 3, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions. 5, to perform good actions. 6, to recognize true limits and true opportunities. 7, to do just one thing at a time and do the thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. 8, to keep my balance. Now, my 35 principles, I'll go ahead and tick them off. War, reason, homunculus, anchor hold, home of good and evil. Purpose, atomic principle, nature, pirate ride. Maturity, social principle, family, public speaking. Temperance, life will not go well. Life will not go well. The horror show, that which must be born, the feast of offal, distraction, agency, and the great indifference. Boy, I forgot. What's after the great indifference? I let my mind kind of slip around there for a second. Did I get it right in the right order? The best seat in the house, the very one I was just talking about. Dang it. The best seat in the house. Put this back. The restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure. The risk of avoiding risk. I feel like I've messed things up again already. Sin and damnation, complete oblivion, the season of philosophy, script writing, the bull's high aim, the uphill climb, arena and utility, nothing is enough, the principle of fun, and being prepared. Well, by my count, that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Need a little help there along the way with the very one I was talking about. How funny that is. Okay, as for today, I've got a pretty full checklist for today. Got 15 items on the personal side, the 3 on the work side. Of course, I won't do these today. I might do one. I'm going to add it to the list. The story. Prepare the story for my project. So I'll be ready on Monday. That'll help me sleep better at night. That's kind of a readiness thing that I do before the workday starts. Other than that, I've got all this stuff to do. Oh, I forgot a couple more. 16, clean the house, which I already got a good start on yesterday, and then shopping with my wife. Yeah, those are all good. The last thing I do is prepare myself for death. I ask myself 3 questions, and the answer informs me of my readiness. 1, are my affairs in order? Well, I spent probably 5 minutes detailing for you my affairs, my financial affairs at least, and they are in order. Yeah, everything works out. Most importantly, survivorship. If I were to die today, my wife is cared for the rest of her life. She gets my full pension for the rest of her life. That's the key element right there. I want the peace of mind of making sure that my wife will be all right. Second one, are my affairs in order? To the very best of my ability. Yeah, they're not perfect. I could have a better relationship. No, maybe I can't. I would like to have a better relationship with my mom, but I don't know if that's possible. 3, is my life's work complete? Absolutely. My daughter's practically there on her own, and my book is done. So yeah, my life's work's done. It's all gravy now. I'll stop, and I'll wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.